Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ride the Ducati to work today. I'm going to have a little test recording on the new setup. Let's see how it does. And check out the audio and the settings for the display. The first time motovlogging. I did a couple motovlogging on the way to the trip to Atlanta. I didn't get much footage because I was still trying to feel out the whole setup. And I didn't have anything exactly what I wanted to be. But let's I'm not sure how much you guys can see. It's pretty dark. But hopefully the sun comes up in the morning when I get off of work, and we can get a little bit of more sun. We might be able to get a little bit of view, but let's see. I don't know if it's going to be muffled or not with the audio, but we'll see. Let's go. Did I even close the garage? I think I did, right? I might have to be do a double take. Damn thing sounds like a monster. I don't know how the volume sounds like on the bike, but out here I gotta wear my earplugs. But today, just to see how it is, we'll damn cat or dog just ran across the damn street. Could have been disastrous. You always got to keep your shit on a swivel. You never know. Yeah, she does. I'm still riding on touring mode. I did try sport mode going to Atlanta. It's a little jerky in traffic, so I took it back and put it back in touring mode. So I just a little bit more smooth acceleration and takeoff. You don't have that jerky feeling when you take off. I don't want to. I didn't want to deal with all that jerkiness on Atlanta traffic. If you guys ever drove through Atlanta traffic, you know what I'm talking about. Alright, well, garage is closed. We're good to go. I'm gonna get on and get ready for work. It's a quiet night tonight, huh? I know. It's a little cool. It's supposed to be 70. In the morning, it's supposed to be around 50, but we got a little bit of extra layer. Oh, it's a monster. How I miss that feeling. I just rode all to Atlanta with my buddy on his 2013. And total about, I don't know, back and forth for just 7 hours just riding. And then we rode in Atlanta for about 2 hours. But I was a little sore the next day. So, you know, got definitely a little feel for riding long distance on this bike. Probably not the most ideal bike for touring, but yeah, you can do it. People can do it on Groms. Damn light always change so damn fast. So I don't know if you guys can see how dark it is. I got the settings a little turned up for how dark it is, but I don't know. It's not on auto, so we'll see how it looks when we get to work. Take a look at everything, making a few adjustments for nighttime, for daytime driving. So right now we're on the Ducati Diavel. I got a 2020. It's the S model. So you know we got the upgraded suspension and the cruise control and heated grips and all that jazz that everybody screams about. unless you're riding in the depths of winter. I mean, the wind does get into a little issues of just fingers getting cold and everything like that. You can do it without all that. The suspension is definitely hard, to say the least, but it's you know, that's what you got to deal with when you go with a sport suspension and not a comfort suspension. These bikes are not really known to accommodate comfort. The seat's wonderful, but I am like spread eagle a little bit more than I am on my Gixxer. You know, it is what it is. You just got to deal with kind of, you know, like just your body's gonna have to get used to the sitting position. When I'm going to work, it's really not that heavy of a traffic. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not, depending on the day, I guess. Sometimes there's, you know, like on the days that are people going out to eat or whatever, there's a little bit more people out, but generally there's not that many people on the streets. On the way home, I got to deal with more of like a morning traffic, but I'm not going into town. I'm leaving town, going back to the suburbs. I do have to deal with some of the you know, like the bus stops and bus and just the normal traffic that tends to happen in the morning. People get up. I do get off about 6:30 in the morning, so it's not that bad. But yeah, at nighttime I got to run my clear visor. I can't see with my tinted visor. If you ever try to ride at night with a tinted visor, not the best idea. I've done that a couple times. I've gotten stuck out a little later than I wanted to be, and riding home with a tinted visor at night, it's just, you can't see nothing. Well, you guys stepping on the brake, man, come on. I never understand that. People just like, nobody in front of you, just let the car coast, man. You don't need to slam on your brake. That makes no sense. Killing out your brakes, killing out the gas mileage, just let the car coast. Don't slow down on its own. Yeah. So at Lake Wiley, I gotta cross the bridge over into Charlotte, which is the lake is the borderline on South Carolina and North Carolina. I work in North Carolina, I live in South Carolina. I try to get benefits of both worlds from that. There's not as many opportunities in South Carolina as there is in North Carolina. The job pay a little bit more in North Carolina. I don't know, you can see the city, the town around the lake. It's a beautiful area, especially in the morning when the sun's coming up over the lake. You can see that, the light reflecting off the lake. It's beautiful. Excuse me if I'm saying a lot of I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm not there's no there's no pre dialogue or anything like that. I'm just going off the head, just talking out my head. So my first time photo blogging, not the first time I made a video on YouTube, but this is my first time making a motovlog video. So with the setup, let me know if you guys want me to try something different in regards to the settings of the GoPro. I know a lot of people have their own preferences. What works for them might not work for me. I'm just gonna do maybe 1 or 2 videos a week, maybe. I got a full-time job and I got a kid, and it might not be the most regularly updated videos like you guys normally get from people that do photo blogging. We're just passing the Palisades. This is where the $1 million homes are, but they're on the North Carolina side, so it's like the prices of homes tend to have a higher tax rate than South Carolina. The houses in South Carolina usually valued a lot more, but you get less taxes, so you can see why people would want to live in South Carolina than in North Carolina, where like people would have these lakeside waterside or waterfront homes, and then, you know, I see Lambos, I see McLarens, I see Ferraris in this area, you know, and you never know it based upon like just the people walking around. They're very kind of to themselves. They're not really, you know, out there shining. Now we go in North Carolina and like the Ballantyne area, you'll see the same thing. Even in like Huntersville, you'll see the same thing, like these cars, high-end cars or whatever. But you'll know those people have money because it's the way that they, you know, the way that they present themselves. But here it's like kind of like the suburbs, but the people, I'm guessing the people own some sort of business in North Carolina, but they don't want to live in North Carolina or live in Charlotte. So they come down across the lake and they'll live across the lake. But they'll ride around in a Lambo or fucking McLaren, and like on a sunny day on Saturday or something, you'll see them all day long. Yeah, me and the family's been in the area for at least, we're coming up on 6 years, well, maybe 7 years. And we love the area. The area's always been pretty good to us. We ended up buying a home here before the pandemic and before this whole crazy, you know, price skyrocketing on homes and rent and everything, which is good. It was kind of a blessing. It just kind of worked out for us. You know, if we were trying to buy a home at this time, it'd be a headache. You know, just giving you an idea of how everything's changed since 2016. We bought a home at I think a price of like, I think $230 or something like that. And now we looked at Vimo and all that stuff. Not Vimo, Zillow. And it's we're hit almost, well, we're right at the $500,000, and people sold their houses because of that. But I've looked at it and I'm like, you know, that money's good, but when you go to buy another home, you're gonna be paying the same market. So you're kind of playing the same game. So we're just gonna stay where we're at, and we enjoy the area, and the house is, you know, it's very beneficial to us. It's a great size home. But we're already crossing to North Carolina. We're entering pretty much like the little areas before you get into like the surrounding areas of Charlotte. Yeah, the Ducati gets kind of hot when you're just sitting there. It's fine when you're riding. When it gets hot, it's a big motor, you know. Yeah, you definitely feel it between your legs. So I got my Ducati back in February, so I haven't rode it in the summertime. So I don't really know how hot it really gets in the summertime, or even in higher weather, like in, you know, the higher 90s or even around the hundreds, or how it would be to deal with. But we'll see. When I ride in my Gixxer, I didn't have a problem with heat, but I did have the issue of just, you know, like it's not the most, you know, you're not wanting to really tour on a Gixxer. Not to say that the bike is very comfortable, because you know, we'll probably do a video one day on that, on my Gixxer that I got as my first bike. There's a GSXR 600. But it's not the mother. I swear, man. You gotta pay attention on these streets. Motherfuckers don't care about you. Goes to pull out. I'm right there, like, yeah. Can't be more presented than what I am. And he's wanting to pull out. That's what they do. They don't see. Just got to be ready on that. You know, you can't just be slamming on the brake either. You know, lock up the brakes and go over these handlebars. I only been riding about, just over a year, and I'm already knowing that when you see somebody sitting there, you just gotta be ready, and you gotta be like, gotta get that mentality like, hey, you can't just slam on it. You just gotta slow down and maybe make some maneuvers around these guys, man. They do not care about you. I mean, they may care, but they don't unconsciously, they don't really care. We had some stories over the weekend. A couple guys that I talked to, they went on a big ride, and there's been a big accident there. But it's, some people, it's kind of discouraging if you live your life on fear of being scared to live your life, do things or whatever. You'll never experience anything. I kind of look at that like, like God's got you in his hands, and you got to make do. You gotta do your due diligence. You got to do your research on anything. If it comes to, I don't know, playing sports, or you can get hurt doing. Shoot, I can get hurt going to work today. Just walking around. Coming down the stairs. Motorcycle is just another thing that you just gotta do your research and get some experience. And of course, it's some things gonna happen that you can't control. You leave that in God's hand at that point. You just got to do your best. But to say, if you look for things, and you can avoid a lot of things just being attentive to your surroundings. And if you see a guy that's kind of all over the place, like this guy over here in the Jeep, you can see he's all the way on the right. Most of the time that I roll by people like that, they're on their phone. And you just got to stay away from those type of people. Either pass them or stay way behind them. Give yourself some room. I ain't here to dictate nothing to nobody. You live your life. Everybody's grown. Everybody's a grown ass dope. You can make your own decisions. And then your decision comes with consequences, and you got to live with it. You can't blame others. If he decides to be on the phone and he swerves and hit me, I gotta live with the consequences. I chose to drive. It could have happened if I'm in the car. He could be on the phone, he could hit me on the car. It's the same thing. I might be protective while in the car, but it doesn't avoid him being on his phone. The only way that you can avoid that is people being more mindful of being on their phone. I get it. People is addicted to their mobile device. It's just the way it is. I've been guilty of it myself. But if you let that fear control your life, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, not a fear of some shit might happen. Shit's gonna happen, man. If it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. It's your time. It might be your time. You can just prepare for it. Well, I'm almost at work. It didn't take me but about 20 minutes, but that's a little bit. It wasn't as bad in traffic today than normal. Like most of the time, it was people like out getting food and whatever. I don't have a problem coming to work at night.